Wel- Welcome, friends. Welcome you all to the 14th virtual meeting on Maharashtra Indirect Tax Amnesty 2022 scheme. Today we are having CA DILIP PHADKE, eminent faculty and our own member who has been taking lectures since the starting of this study circle. He has been with us and he is taking regularly lectures in our study circle and enlightening all the members on the topics of VAT and service tax in various areas. There is some announcements. We are having next meeting on 23rd, that is a physical meeting on planning of efficient payroll tax structures and ESOP tax and regulatory aspect. So I request all to attend in the large. And now there is one announcement in respect of Ready Reckoner. I request Nilesh Bhai to take up the matter.
Yeah, members, I think everyone will be knowing that from since 10 years, we are giving ready reckoners to all our members at a high discounted rates. But because for technical reasons, we can only provide this discount to our members who are members of our study circle. So in case if anyone has still not activated your membership for the financial year 22-23, I would request them to renew your enrollment for the membership so that you are also eligible for this reckoner. So our distribution of reckoner we will be starting by next week, as we are going to get delivery most probably by the next week. So members, please note that the reckoner distribution will start from Tuesday onwards from next day. Otherwise, everything is fine, and I request everyone to please renew your membership. And in case any one of your friends have still not renewed their membership, and if they are interested, just inform them to renew it on time. I would now request a convener to please take charge of the session.
Thank you, Nilesh Bhai. Now I request CS Shreyans Dedia to introduce our well-known speakers with DILIP PHADKE.
Before that, I think we please motto, please.
Please, yeah,
Yes.
please play the motto.
I'll play the motto.
येष सुप्तेषु जागृति येष सुप्तेषु जागृति कामं 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 कामंशो पुरुषो निर्मिमाणः तदेव शुक्रं तद्ब्रह्मा तदेवामृतमुच्यते तस्मिन् लोकः श्रितः सर्वे तदूनात्यपि कश्चन एतद्द्वैता
Yes, yes.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Good evening, members. It is my privilege to introduce a learned speaker for today, CA DILIP PHADKE. He is passed CA and LLB in 1976. He is practicing as a CA for last 44 years in the field of GST, sales tax, MVAT, income tax, and project finance and audits from office in Borivali. He is a professor and head of the accounts department of Lala Lajpat Rai College for 35 years up to 2012. He is member of committees in various institutions and forums like Lala Lajpat Rai College, Real Estate Self-Development, Mumbai University, LIC Education, and ICAI. He is a speaker and resource person at study circle meetings, conferences, and workshops of ICAI. He is also a mentor and speaker at various colleges and forums. He is co-author of Commentary of Maharashtra Value Added State Tax Act 2002, published by Maharashtra Sales Tax Act. He is also co-author of Handbook and Practice Manual of GST. He is editor and co-author and author of various publications on GST and sales tax. With this, I request CA Dilip sir to please accept the e-memento as a small token of gratitude.
Virtually, na?
Virtually, sir. Thank you. Also, BCSE would contribute to CAPF's fund on behalf of CA Dilip PHADKE. Now I
So
request.
we welcome you with a loud round of applause.
Now request sir to please commence the session. So you can start the session.
Yes. My screen sharing is there.
No,
Not
not
yet
yet, sir.
Not yet started.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now it is up.
So let us start. Good evening, everybody. As Hanuman Jayanti hai. There was Mahavir Jayanti just 2 days back. So in this April, there are many things which are happening. So first of all, the new convener Vishal Joshi and joint convener Vasa and my old friend Nilesh Vasa, who was the previous convener, Vijay Joshi and Shreyas Dedia were there with me just now. So I thank the BCSC for inviting me to discuss with you the amnesty scheme under Vat Act. Actually, it is of all the indirect taxes, but we call it as amnesty of Vat Act. So let us start with the actual amnesty. Now, conveners, whether it will be possible for the participants to unmute them and ask the questions in between, when I will ask them to ask the questions, or will it have to be seen from chat box or question and answers?
Sir, we have a question answer box. It's in the Zoom only. So they will
Okay.
put all their questions. So in the end, we will take all the questions of the members.
No, at a particular level, I will go on asking them the questions if there are any.
Yeah, that will also do.
At a particular level.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, and when question comes up, I will inform.
okay. No, I can also see question answers.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
So it will be better if you read them out.
Sure, sir, I'll do that.
Problem.
Yeah.
So let us start with the lecture now. It is rather discussion because this particular amnesty scheme was there in 2016 as well as 2019. Now they have come out with this particular amnesty scheme for third time so that the burden of the litigations is reduced and government will get the revenue as much as possible without further litigations. Now, if we see the name of the scheme, it is Maharashtra Settlement of Arrears of Tax, Interest, Penalty or Late Fees Act 2022. So basically, it is for settlement of tax first, second is interest, third is penalty, and fourth is late fee. Now, how this is going to work, that's what we are going to see. So what we are going to discuss today. First, I'll be taking important definitions. I have not taken all the definitions. Then we'll be discussing who are the persons who are eligible to go for this amnesty. What are the conditions which are to be followed for getting this amnesty? What will be the amount of waiver which the applicant will be getting, how to make the payment, what is the procedure to be followed, how the orders will be passed, what will be the forms which we have to submit, how we have to submit it, and the instructions which are issued. Now the instructions I have incorporated in my discussions only, so I will not be discussing them separately, but other things, each and everything we are going to discuss. The first definition which is important is what is the meaning of applicant. Now applicant will be the person who is liable to pay the tax under old acts, or he has to pay the interest, penalty or late fee, whether it is levied or leviable. So levied or leviable indicates that whether the assessment is complete or incomplete. In both the cases, you can apply for the amnesty under the relevant act, or any other person, including for financial institution, who desire to avail the benefit of settlement of this particular act after complying with the conditions. So basically, if you want to avail the benefits of the particular scheme which they have come out with, and you follow and comply with the conditions and follow the procedure, you will be called as applicant. So basically, it is for the purpose of arrears. Now arrears, they are divided into three parts. Now what are these three parts? Let us try to understand first. There might be possibility that you have already filed the returns and your assessments are over. So that is first possibility. So when the assessment is over, you must have got the order of assessment along with the demand notice. We call it as statutory order. So demand raised, which you have not paid. If you have paid, there are no arrears. Which you have not paid as per the statutory order. So demand is raised by a statutory order and you have not paid it. Second chance or second kind, you have filed the returns but assessment is not complete. Then also it will be possible that you can go for the amnesty. Now you might ask, because those who have started the practice since GST feel that without paying the taxes, you cannot upload a return. But under VAT, now even in GST also, according to law, even if you don't pay the amount, you should be allowed to upload the return. But the portal doesn't allow it. That's why it is not permitted by portal law, you call it as. But in VAT, even if you have filed the return and not paid the taxes, that was possible. So if you have filed a return and showed that I have to pay so much amount, that is, you have admitted the amount in the return. Now, return will be either original return or revised return, and you have not paid the taxes, then that will be also treated as arrears. The third is in VAT, there was necessity of audit, and the audit is done as per the provisions of section 61. And then what will happen? The auditor has found out the amount which is payable by the dealer, and he has given the audit report. What is the procedure in this case? After the auditor will find out what is the amount payable under that and interest payable on that or penalty which is payable on that, the dealer was given a chance to admit or refuse to admit the amount demanded or shown as payable by the auditor. So if you are admitted that this much amount is payable, then that amount which you are admitted is called as undisputed amount. And whatever amount you are not admitted and you are not paid will be disputed amount. So out of the amount shown payable by the auditor, if you are not paid the amount, then that will be in arrears. So arrears are divided into three parts only. There is no fourth part or fourth case which is prescribed under the amnesty scheme. So to repeat, the assessment order is passed, demand notice is raised, the amount of that demand you are not paid. So I'll call it as statutory dues. The second is dues according to the returns which you have filed. So you have filed the returns, but you have not paid the taxes. Then I'll call it as return dues. And third case is audit dues. Audit dues means the auditor has found out that you have to pay certain amount, interest, penalty, etc., but you have not paid it. So only amnesty is available for these three kinds of arrears: statutory arrears, return arrears, or the audit arrears. Designated authority. Now, designated authority, if you have attended amnesty scheme of 16 or 19, we know that generally the applications are issued by the assistant commissioner or maximum deputy commissioners. These are the authorities which are appointed by the commissioner under section 3 of this particular act. In 16 and 19, the application was to be given physically. Now, in this particular amnesty, you have to upload the application. Government, why I have taken it? As the amnesties of Maharashtra government, only Maharashtra government is treated as a government for this particular case. Now you might be feeling that if there are arrears of central tax, whether it will be covered by this Maharashtra government. Now under central tax, the state of Maharashtra government was given power to administer that particular act. So even if Central Sales Tax Act, the government which will be involved will be government of state of Maharashtra. So return dues already have explained and we have seen that you have filed the returns, but you have not paid the taxes. So what is important? You have filed the return and you have not paid the taxes as on 1st of April 2022. That is, you have paid certain amount or you may not have paid any amount up to 31st March 2022. So whatever amount is remaining unpaid, partly or wholly, will be the return dues. Now, the amnesty is available for how many acts? They are called as relevant acts. So there are totally 11 acts for which the amnesty is available. Now, which are these acts? Now, there are certain acts for which who are late entrant to the practice might not have done the practice of that particular act. But while discussing, I'll be discussing whatever were the important provisions of those acts which are applicable, which you must know. So first is Central Sales Tax Act. This is applicable since 1956. Now, according to the Central Sales Tax Act, if there is an interstate transaction, whatever might be the rate of tax which is applicable to a commodity in that particular state, if the C form was given, only 2% tax was payable. Similarly, there were other forms also. There were D forms to be given by the government, F form to be given in case of branch transfers. So all these forms were prescribed under Central Sales Tax Act. Bombay Sale of Motor Spirit, 1958. Bombay Sales Tax Act, 1959. Now, according to me, most of the cases of Bombay Sales Tax Act, 1959 will be over, because that particular act implementation was over in 2005 when VAT was introduced. Maharashtra purchase tax on sugarcane. So whenever you will purchase the sugarcane, there was a tax payable. The Maharashtra state tax on professional trade calling, we call it as professional tax. Now under professional tax, there are two types of taxes payable. One we call it as the enrollment tax. That is those who are enrolled under the provisional tax, they have to pay 2,500. And if you are registered under the provisional tax and you are employing the persons having salary, then you have to deduct the tax and pay to the government. So if there are any arrears under these both, then also relevant act will cover the amounts payable under provisional tax. Now, why it will not be applicable in certain cases in respect of provisional tax, we are going to discuss separately. Maharashtra tax on transfer of right to use any goods for any purpose. So it was regarding the hire, purchase or rent. Then Maharashtra tax on entry of motor vehicles. Now, in certain states, the tax on vehicle was less. Like, let us say Daman and Diu. If you purchase a car in Daman, you are getting it at cheaper price because the tax applicable over there was less. So if you purchase a vehicle outside and bring it before registration, you have to pay the entry tax on motor vehicles. According to me, there will not be any arrears in this case, because if you are not paid that amount, your vehicle will not be registered. So according to me, regarding serial number 7, there is no possibility of any arrears, but still if there are any arrears, then you can go for the amnesty under this act. Maharashtra tax on luxuries. So on certain entertainments and certain luxuries, there is a tax. If there are any arrears under that, you can go for the amnesty. Works contract tax. So it was enacted in 1989, re-enacted. And if there is any amount due under that act, there was certain tax payable on certain goods like steel or marble. If you purchase it from other state and bring it into the local, that is Maharashtra state, you have to pay the entry tax. That entry tax paid by you was allowed as a deduction or set off under VAT. So that was called as entry tax on goods. as this particular act might not be known to many, I'll be discussing it in little details when we are going on that particular act afterwards. MVAT Act, that is Maharashtra Value Added Tax Act 2002. Even if it is stated as 2002, actually it was implemented from 2005. So if there are any arrears under MVAT Act, then also you can go for the amnesty. So totally there are 11 acts. If there are any arrears, statutory arrears, return arrears, or audit arrears, you are eligible for going for the amnesty, which is going on now. Requisite amount. Now, requisite amount means the amount which you have to pay. Now, how much amount you have to pay is prescribed in clause B of the table given in subsection 2 of section 10. They have divided the amount into undisputed tax and disputed. So I'll make it very clear that only in case of tax, there is a question of undisputed and disputed tax. In case of interest, penalty, late fees, there is no question of disputed and undisputed tax or disputed and undisputed interest. There is no question. So disputed and undisputed is only term used in respect of the tax. It is not applicable to the interest, penalty, and late fee. So whether it is levied or not, so whether the assessment is complete or not, you can go for the amnesty by paying the requisite amount, by calculating it as per the tables which are prescribed. Now, specified period. Now, this amnesty is for ending all the probable disputed cases before GST was introduced. So the last date of this particular operational period is 30th June 2017. That is before GST was introduced. So specified period, that is any period ending on or before 30th June 2017, that is before GST. Statutory order, the order passed under the relevant act, raising demand of tax, interest, penalty, and late fees. Now let us try to understand in detail what is the disputed tax and undisputed tax. Now, disputed tax means a tax which is other than undisputed tax. So what is important? Important is to know which tax is undisputed. So if you are able to understand what is the undisputed tax, balance is disputed tax. Now remember one thing, to treat any tax as disputed or undisputed, it is not necessary that the assessment should be over. It is not necessary that you must have disputed that particular amount in appeal. So whether the assessment is completed, whether you have filed the appeal or not, you can find out whether the tax is disputed or undisputed. So let us try to understand what is undisputed tax very clearly, so that what remains is disputed tax. First, if you have collected taxes separately under a relevant act. Now, once I say collected separately, means I have issued a bill. I have shown that net amount is so much, tax is so much, total amount is so much. So what it means, I have collected the amount separately. I have charged the amount to the customer. Customer has paid me that amount. I have collected it separately. Can I say that it is a disputed amount? Answer is no. You cannot say that the amount which you have collected separately is disputed. Now it is quite possible that instead of charging, let us say 5% tax, rather than 12% tax, you are charged 5%. And 7% you are not collected. Then that 7% will become disputed. But if you are charged 5% and collected it separately, then that 5% cannot be a disputed tax. The taxes shown payable in the return or revised return. Now, once I file the return and show that this much amount is payable by me, can you say that it is a disputed amount? Answer is no. Whatever you have admitted that this much amount is payable by me, that amount you have to pay, there is no option. So it is undisputed tax. Now remember, the return can be original return, or if it was possible for you to file the revised return, whatever amount is payable as per revised return. But remember one thing, you cannot file any revised return now. So whatever revised returns you have filed up to 31st March 2022, or returns which you have filed up to 31st March 2022 will be taken into consideration, and amount shown as payable by you in those returns will be undisputed tax. An amount claimed by the dealer as a deduction under Rule 57 under MVAT Act. Now, Rule 57 of MVAT Act was the rule which was allowing to calculate the tax payable on the reverse method. In MVAT Act, if you follow or complete certain conditions, you are permitted to issue inclusive amount bill. That is, tax was included in the bill amount. You are not showing the tax separately. Now, in that case, what will happen? To calculate the tax payable, you have to use a formula, the amount of bill multiplied by rate of tax divided by 100 plus rate of tax. So if the tax rate is 5%, to the amount of the bill, you will multiply it by 5 and you will divide it by 105 as per Rule 57 to calculate the tax payable. So if you have claimed any amount as payable by applying Rule 57, that amount also you cannot dispute. If any amount is forfeited, now when was the amount forfeited? If you have collected it wrongly, if you have collected it excess, then generally that amount was forfeited by a statutory order. So if it was forfeited under a statutory order, or you have shown it as excess collection in the return, or it is shown as an excess collection by the auditor, then that amount will be undisputed tax. Any amount of tax determined and recommended as payable by the auditor in the audit report as per section 61, which was accepted by the assessee. So what it means? If you are not accepted, that is disputed tax. If you have accepted the audit report, then that is undisputed tax. If you have deducted any tax under MVAT Act, then whatever amount you have deducted, you have to pay to the government. So that amount will be treated as undisputed tax. If you have collected any tax under Section 31A, there was TCS, we call it as TCS was applicable in case of liquor and sand mining. So that TCS, if you are done and you are not paid it to the government, it will be undisputed tax. The tax payable by the enrollment certificate holder under the Maharashtra tax on professional, that is professional tax. Now, enrollment means paying 2,500 in short. Now, according to me, this point number 8 case will not arise. Basically because there is no question of any return which you file under professional tax to pay 2,500. So can it be a return dues? Answer is no. Is there any question of audit dues? Answer is no. Is there any case of assessment? Again, there is no. So according to me, there cannot be 3 kinds of dues for professional tax enrollment. Now suppose if I take the enrollment now, according to the act, I have to pay 4 years amount, that is 10,000. Even if I am not registered, let's say from 2012, 10 years I am unregistered, unenrolled. How much tax I have to pay? I have to pay it only for 4 years. So in that case, if we go back, I have to pay for 21-22, 20-21, then 19-20 and 18-19. I have to pay any tax for a period before 30th June 2017. According to me, no. Then in that case, where is the question of amnesty being applicable in that case? So according to me, point number 8, even if they have mentioned it, it will not be possible for you to go for amnesty in that case. The tax deducted by the employer. So you have taken the registration under provisional tax and you have not paid that particular amount which you have deducted. Now many chartered accountants say that they have article clerks, they don't employ anybody, and you have not paid any tax, let us say. You are not deducted. Now you want to take the benefit of this amnesty, whether it will be possible for you. Just think about it. If you feel it is possible, let us see whether it will be possible for you. So I am putting up a question that you are registered under provisional tax. You are not deducted the taxes from the employees' salaries. Now you want to pay that particular amount, whether it will be possible for you to pay it under amnesty. So that is point number 9. Now point number 10. Set off under Rule 52A or 52B. Amount of disallowed set off. Now 52A rule was applicable to the cases of mega units. And 52B was applicable in the case of aerated waters, mobile sets. So there are 3 items where you have to claim a set off by paying the taxes under Rule 52B. So that also we are going to see whether it will be possible for you to say that it is a disputed amount or undisputed amount. So if it is disallowed under Rule 52A or 52B, it will become undisputed amount. So these are the 10 amounts which are undisputed. So whatever are the amounts other than these 10 kinds of amounts will be disputed amounts. Now what is important for you to remember, if an auditor has recommended certain amount as payable by you, then what is important, if you have accepted the auditor's report, then only that question of disputed and undisputed will arise. So if you have accepted the recommendations of the auditor, it becomes undisputed amount. And if you have not accepted the auditor's recommendations, then it will become disputed amount. Now, another thing which you have to remember, which we are going to discuss in details, that in respect of the audit report also, if you have accepted a tax amount, then there is a question of disputed or undisputed only in respect of tax amount. For interest or late fee, which is recommended by the auditor, it will be calculated amount payable, requisite amount will be calculated as per table only, whether it is disputed or undisputed. I have given certain examples of disputed tax after seeing what is undisputed tax. Now, as I told you that there were certain declarations which you were bound to give for the purpose of CST Act, and the amount payable was 2%. Now suppose you are unable to produce those declarations, C form or F form or D form, then what will happen? Suppose the tax rate was 12% for easier understanding. What are the amount payable as per C form? 2%. So 2% will become undisputed, but remaining 10%, which is becoming payable by you because you are not produced, or you have produced but they are disallowed, the declarations, that amount of 10% will be treated as disputed amount. So let us say 1 lakh rupees C form. The tax payable was how much? 2%. So how much you have to pay? 2,000. Because the C form which was produced by you was disallowed by the assessing authority and he has raised a demand of 10%, what will happen? It will become, so remaining 10,000, that is 10% of 1 lakh, will become disputed amount. So whether you have produced or you have not produced, if you have produced and they are disallowed, the extra amount which is becoming payable will become disputed amount and 2% will be undisputed amount. Disallowance or reduction of set-off due to mismatch or other reasons. J1, J2, those who are doing the practice of MVAT. So if any set-off is disallowed because of mismatch, then that particular amount will become disputed amount. The officer has enhanced your turnover on estimated basis. Whatever tax he had shown as payable on that enhanced turnover will become disputed tax. Suppose there is a dispute regarding tax rate applicable. According to you, the rate applicable is 5%. According to the officer or your customer, it is 12%. The difference of 7% will be disputed amount, but 5% will be treated as undisputed amount. But this will be possible only if you have not collected 12% from the customer. If you have collected 12% from the customer, there is no question of disputing that particular amount. Tax payable due to disallowance of goods return. Now there were certain rules that the goods return should be within 6 months. Regarding branch transfers, a form should be there. In BST Act, if there was a resale, there was no tax. So these claims were to be made by you in the returns. Now, if these claims are disallowed and tax is charged or becomes payable by you, then that particular amount will become a disputed amount. Provisional tax payable by the employer, if provisional tax is not deducted from the salaries or wages. So if you are deducted, then there is no question of saying that this is a particular amount which is disputed. So what is the period? And after this, I'll be taking up the questions because definition part will be over. Now, period for submission of the form is from 1st of April 22 to 14th of October 2022. But you have to pay the taxes as per the requisite amount on or before 30th September 2022. Now, by taking these particular 3 dates, that is the arrears up to 30th of June 2017, to be paid between 1st April to 30th September 2022. Application can be submitted up to 14th October 2022. Then how to do the planning, that I'll be discussing afterwards. Now suppose you have paid the requisite amount, but you are unable to upload the application by 14th of October. Then delay up to 30 days may be condoned by the designated authority. So if there are any things, because whatever disputed and undisputed tax understanding is there, it is important. So if there are any questions regarding that, I can explain it or we can discuss that particular issue. So, Bijan, are there any?
Sir, there are around 6 questions.
Yes.
So we can take up that if it's okay. So first question is, if we file revised return now and show the tax as payable and apply, and then can we apply for amnesty?
Now the returns which are filed only up to 31st March 2022 are considered. If you file any return after 31st March 2022, it will not be taken into consideration.
Okay, so 31st March was the last date.
Yes.
Okay.
So actually, in 2019 scheme, there was a self-assessment tax,
Okay.
which they have dropped in 2022 scheme.
Okay.
So if you are not filed the returns on your own, they were permitting you to pay the taxes.
Okay.
Right? But now they say that is not permitted.
So next question is, tax collected but returns are not filed and taxes are also not paid. Whether same can be covered in this amnesty.
Returns are not filed.
Returns are not filed, even tax is not paid,
Taxes
only
are
tax is
not
collected.
paid.
So it is undisputed tax, it will be covered like tax is collected, but there is no payment of tax and there is no filing of returns.
So that I will make it clear. There are only 3 kinds of dues which are taken into consideration. Is it statutory dues? No.
No.
Are they return dues? No.
No.
Are they audit dues?
No.
So not covered.
Okay, so though it is like undisputed tax, but it won't be covered by the scheme.
So that's what I told you. The lacuna over here is self-assessment payment is not allowed.
Okay. So next question is whether amnesty is applicable if return is not filed till date and now the dealer is filed return. I think you already covered in first
Already
question.
covered in question 1.
Yeah. If assessment order is passed, then can the entire demand amount can be considered as disputed tax?
Now we have seen the definition of disputed amount,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Now suppose you have accepted the turnover. You have accepted the tax rate,
Yes.
which is charged by the officer.
Right.
Can you say that amount is disputed?
No.
No. So if you dispute the turnover which he has shown,
Okay.
or if you dispute the tax rate which he has applied,
Okay.
then it will become disputed.
Okay. So next question is, if ex parte order was passed in spite of assessee being exporter, demand was raised, whether it is covered under amnesty, demand was wrongly raised on the taxpayer.
Now, this is a little bit tax planning which you have to do. Because of the COVID, you can still file the appeals,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Even if your order was passed in 21, let us say,
Yes.
because you have not attended, can you file the appeal now? Answer is yes.
Yeah.
Try to see that you get that particular assessment completed or appeal decided before 28th of September. So wait up to 28th of September. Okay.
Okay.
If you get appeal order by that time, you can pay the amount on 29th or 30th.
Right.
And go for the amnesty on the order of the appeal. Now you might ask, sir, if the appeal I have gone for, I have to pay certain amount.
Yes.
That particular amount can be adjusted by you in your dues,
Yes.
which are payable, which we are going to see in next slides.
Okay.
So let us say if you withdraw the appeal on 28th of September, you can go for the amnesty after that. So you can take a chance. Now suppose you have filed a application for rectification.
Right.
Now I have seen that in certain cases you have to file the rectification application for the rectified order. That is also possible. So try to see that you get that rectification order before 28th or 29th of September. If you don't get it, there is no question of withdrawing the application. Only appeal is to be withdrawn, which we are going to see. So on 30th, you pay the amount and apply for the amnesty up to 14th of October. Okay.
Okay, so sir, in this specific case, what we have discussed of since the order is received, first we have to file appeal, and
Because
then only.
when you say that particular amount which has made you payable,
Yeah.
is on the estimated turnover,
Right.
right?
Being ex parte
So-
order.
Yeah, ex parte order, definitely you must increase your turnover,
Okay.
right? So even if without filing the appeal also you can do it. But in
Okay.
appeal, if you get the order, then what will happen? Whatever amount of relief you have got in appeal will be automatically reduced,
Right.
and amnesty which you have to go for will be reduced,
Yes.
right? Now suppose according to audit report, your turnover is, let us say, 20 crores, and he has estimated it at, let us say, 25 crores. Then if you accept that 20 crores is your amount as per your returns, as per your audit report, that is undisputed dues. On 5 crores, whatever your charge will become disputed amount,
Okay.
right? So that is if you don't go in appeal.
Okay.
But if you go in appeal and get that 5 crores reduced,
Hmm.
then there is no question of disputed tax
Right.
and undisputed tax.
Okay.
Okay.
So next question is, the order is passed in the month of March 22, and now officer is asking for the recovery, to start with recovery proceeding, but the taxpayer want to go for the amnesty. So
Yes.
is there any way out to put on the
Yes,
stay for the
give them a
recovery?
written application that you are going for amnesty and the recovery proceeding should be stopped.
So when the return, this letter is submitted, the officer told that this letter won't suffice unless and until you make the payment as per amnesty and file the application for the amnesty. The recovery proceeding
Then
will
you have to
continue.
go to his higher up,
Okay, okay. Sir.
or you have to settle the issue.
Okay, okay. So next question is, if in MVET order, there are two issues, can I opt for amnesty for one issue and can go for appeal for another issue?
No,
Is it possible?
in this amnesty, that particular possibility is not there. That is, certain issues you don't go for amnesty and continue with the appeal. And in others, you continue with the amnesty. So bifurcation will not be possible.
Okay, so on the entire order, we have to either go for
Yes.
amnesty or go for appeal.
Yes.
Okay. So next question is, CFAM liability is disputed or undisputed? How we have to consider? I think you have already considered that as
Already I
disputed.
have told it, 1,02,000 is the undisputed amount
Undisputed. Yeah.
and 10,000 is the disputed amount.
Differential will be considered as disputed. Okay.
Yes.
Whether MVET and CST arrears of liquor dealer after 1717 is covered under the scheme?
No.
No. Okay. Under lump sums, okay, now so few issues are regarding calculation. So shall I take up this as well
No.
right now?
Only up to definitions. Whatever I discussed,
Okay.
only up to that.
So one question is, can registration under PTRC, PTAC can be done now and avail amnesty? I think you have already covered
I
that
think
as
I
well.
already covered that even if you take the RC now, registration you take now, can you file the returns before 31st of March?
Not possible.
You can't,
Right.
right? So only three kinds of dues amnesty is available.
Okay. Yes. So next is, if assessment order is passed, but still no appeal is filed and intends to file an appeal, then can it be treated as disputed tax?
See, for treating the amount as disputed or undisputed, there is no necessity of filing the appeal.
Right.
Okay.
You
That
just have to go to the
particular
definition.
ex-parte order, I said go in appeal because if in appeal you are able to prove and commissioner accepts
Right.
that 5 crores is a wrong turnover, then for whole amount gets reduced. That's why I said go in appeal.
Okay. There is refund under VAT and liability under CST. The refund is adjusted against CST liability, and then there is nil CST liability. Can they go for
That
appeal?
we are coming in subsequent slides.
Okay, I'll keep this question on hold. If appeal is concluded, say in this month, and is against the dealer, can still be treated as disputed tax and offer amnesty.
Disputed, undisputed, already I explained.
Okay.
So I think
Many questions are on that only. And sir, now I think we can go for because the remaining questions are on calculations. So we
Okay.
can take on it. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Now, let us see. An applicant, who is applicant, we have seen already. An applicant can be registered or unregistered under the relevant act. Now, let me discuss it in details. So what it says is, you can be a registered dealer or you can be an unregistered dealer. You can go for amnesty. According to me, whatever they have stated is wrong. Because if you are unregistered and you get registered now, Will there be any statutory order against you? Answer is no. So no statutory dues. Can you file any return before 31st of March 2022? Answer is no. So can it be possible that there are return dues? Answer is no. When you are unregistered, is it possible that you have got your accounts VAT audit? Answer is no. So the three kinds of arrears for which you go for the amnesty cannot be in existence if you are unregistered. So this unregistered was a word which was used in 2016 and 2019 because there was a possibility of self-assessment. If I am unregistered, I can find out what is the amount payable by me and pay it. This particular possibility is not there in this particular amnesty. But while preparing this particular act bill, they are hurriedly continued with the same wording, that is registered or unregistered. So according to me, applicant can be a registered person only. There cannot be a possibility that unregistered person can register now, pay the taxes or find out the taxes payable, because whatever you are doing will be after 31st March 2022, which are already taken into consideration. Shall be eligible to make the application for settlement of arrears of tax. So it is not necessary that it should be tax only. It can be for interest, it can be penalty, it can be for late fee. Suppose you have paid full taxes. You have gone in appeal for interest and penalty. Can you go for the settlement? Answer is yes. So even if there are arrears of interest, penalty or late fee, then also you can go for the amnesty. Now it is not necessary for you to dispute that particular amount in appeal. So without filing the appeal also, you can calculate whether the amount is disputed amount or it is undisputed amount. Amounts which are disputed and which are the amounts which are undisputed. Even if the applicant has availed the benefits, because already I have told you that there were two amnesty schemes before this, 2016 and 2019. So if you have claimed any benefit under 2016 and 2019, still you can go for the amnesty 2022. Now, where it is possible, in those cases, certain part of the appeals, it was allowed to be withdrawn, and remaining you can continue appeal. So suppose that particular amount is decided or undecided and you want to go for the amnesty now, that is possible. For the settlement under this act, applicant shall comply with the conditions which are laid down in section 611. We are going to see them separately. Now, it is not necessary that every time you have to go in appeal. There is a possibility that state goes in appeal against you. For example, let us say in assessment, certain amount you are disputed in appeal. The authority, appellate authority has given the decision in your favor, and department has gone in appeal against that. In such cases, it is quite possible that you can go for amnesty. So whatever amount they have disputed, you can go for the amnesty. If you go in for amnesty, if the department has filed any reference or they have filed any appeal against the appellate order, then the amount of tax, interest, penalty, late fee which is disputed by the department, you can go for the amnesty. Now, once you will go for the amnesty, department will withdraw. So that particular appeal you are not to withdraw. Department will withdraw the appeal and the department amount which is disputed will be settled, but you will not be given any refund. Whatever amount you have paid. So that is regarding the department appeals. Now let us go for the amounts which are paid up to 31st March 2022. Whatever amounts you have paid up to 31st March 2022, there is a serial order in which they will be adjusted before finding out the amount which you can go for the settlement. So suppose there is a statutory order and you have made certain payment. You have not gone in appeal. Or you have gone in appeal, both the ways. Whatever amount you have paid will be adjusted. First, whatever amount you have paid will be adjusted against undisputed tax. If you have paid more amount than the undisputed tax, because if you have gone in appeal, you have to pay 100% of the undisputed tax and 10% of the disputed tax. So whatever extra amount you have paid will be adjusted against disputed tax. If still there is a balance which is to be adjusted, it will be adjusted towards interest. Still balance is left, then it will be adjusted against penalty. And after penalty also, if any amount is left, it will be adjusted against late fee. But in no case, refund will be given to you. And definitely, you will not pay more than what is the amount demanded from you. So, the serial order is undisputed tax first, disputed tax second, interest third, penalty fourth, and then last will be the late fees. So whether you have gone in appeal or you are going on paying on account, but whatever amount you have paid after 31st March 2022 will not be adjusted. So whatever amount you pay after 31st March 2022 will be adjusted towards requisite amount, not towards the principal amount due according to the statutory order or return dues or audit dues. Whatever I have said regarding statutory order, the same serial order will be applicable to the return dues as well as to the audit dues. So the same serial order will be followed for return dues and the audit dues. So what is audit dues we have seen, what is return dues we have seen. So whatever amount you have paid up to 31st March, the serial order will be this. After adjusting this amount paid by you up to 31st March, the balance will be calculated, and on that balance, you have to calculate the requisite amount. Now, suppose if any demand is raised in an appeal order, now there are still certain assessments which are going on, and you have got the order after 1st April 2022. What will happen? Then that particular statutory order also you can go for amnesty. So any order passed up to 30th September 2022 whether it is a rectification order, whether it is an assessment order, whether it is an appellate order. All the orders which are passed up to 30th September 2022 will be considered for the purpose of amnesty under this scheme. So that's what I told you. The same serial order will be applicable to the return dues as well as audit dues. Now, there are certain amounts which can be written off. Which are they? If there is any statutory order passed as on 1st April 2022 and the amount which is due is less than 10,000, total tax plus interest plus penalty, whatever is the balance payable is less than 10,000, then whole amount which is pending will be waived off. So what it means, if the amount which is payable as per statutory order, now remember, this is not applicable for audit dues. This is not applicable for return dues. This is applicable only in the case of statutory order. So statutory order is passed and the amount payable by you pending is less than 10,000, then the whole amount will be waived off. You are not to go for amnesty. And if you try to apply, they will not accept your application because the amount due is less than 10,000. So you are not to fill up any form. It will be automatically written off into the system. So don't bother about it. Now let us take certain example. Auditor had shown the dues 1,50,000 and interest of 90,000. Now in VAT, there was a provision for accepting the audit report. Now the dealer has accepted the liability of 1 lakh and interest of 60,000. He has made the payment of 1,60,000 before 31st March 2022. How the amount paid, how much amount you have paid? 1,60,000. How the amount paid will be adjusted. Now what was the amount which was payable as per audit report? 1,50,000. Out of that 1 lakh you have accepted, so it is undisputed tax. So out of 1,60,000, first 1 lakh will be adjusted against undisputed tax. What remains? 50,000 disputed tax. Actually, you have paid 60,000 towards interest, but that 60,000 will be adjusted against disputed tax first. So what will happen? Still 10,000 are left out. Now what will happen? 10,000 will be adjusted against interest. So 80,000 interest amount will be available for the amnesty. Your undisputed tax gets cleared. Your disputed tax gets cleared. 10,000 out of interest gets cleared. And only interest of 80,000 will be available to you for the purpose of amnesty. Now, whether it is good or bad, you might say, sir, मैंने तो 60,000 रुपया इसके against interest के against adjust किया था. But whatever this adjustment is done is beneficial to you. Why? Because when we will go to the payment of requisite amount, you will understand that the concession which is available towards interest is more than disputed tax. So it is beneficial for you if the interest part remains unpaid for the purpose of amnesty. Now let us take another case. The appeal was filed against the order showing taxes dues as 2,50,000, interest 1,50,000, penalty 50,000. Now in appeal, what you have done, you have paid undisputed tax of 1 lakh. So remaining 1,50,000, 10% you have paid. So how total amount paid by you is 1,15,000. How that 1,15,000 will be adjusted? 1 lakh will be adjusted towards undisputed tax. So how much remains? 15,000. Disputed tax 1,50,000. So disputed tax balance 1,35,000. Interest balance 1,50,000. Penalty 50,000. Total eligible amount 3,35,000. But this 3,35,000 we have to divide separately. How much is towards tax? Disputed tax. In no case undisputed tax will be available for the purpose of amnesty. Undisputed tax you have to pay 100%. So amnesty is available only for disputed tax. So out of 1,50,000 you have paid 15,000. So amnesty will be available for 1,35,000. Interest you have not paid anything. So 1,50,000 interest will be available for amnesty. Penalty of 50,000 you have not paid anything. So that much amount will be also available. So total amount which will be available will be 3,35,000 divided under 3 categories. Now how to determine the requisite amount? Now for understanding determination of the requisite amount, I'll before going to the slides word by word, I will tell you certain things which will be easier for you to remember. Whatever is the amount due, find out whether it is against a statutory order or it is against returns and audit. So first you have to find out that. Now, if the amount due is against statutory order and the amount is less than 10 lakhs, 10 lakhs or less than 10 lakhs, then you can go for lump sum amount. Now, what is that lump sum amount? We are going to see separately in details. So if I say lump sum is available to you, it means it is against a statutory order and the amount due from you is less than 10 lakhs. In such cases only, you can go for lump sum payment. In all other cases, we will divide it into 2 parts. One is one-time payment and second is installment payment. Now, where it is given? It is given in section 10 in annexure A and annexure B that we are going to see in details. So one-time payment means what? And installment payment is what? One-time payment means you have to make the full payment of the requisite amount in one stroke or up to 30th of September 2022. In installment option, you have to pay 25% amount of the amount due before 30th September and remaining amount you have to pay in 3 equal installments quarterly. So basically, there are 2 cases, one-time payment or installment option. Now, to whom installment option is available and to whom it is not available? So if the amount due from you is more than 10 lakhs in case of a statutory order, but less than 50 lakhs, or the return dues are up to 50 lakhs, or audit dues are up to 50 lakhs, you have to go for one-time payment option. That is, whatever becomes the requisite amount, you have to pay on or before 30th of September 2022. But if the amount due as per statutory order or return dues or audit dues is more than 50 lakhs, then you can go for installment option. So installment option is available only if the amount due from you is more than 10 lakhs, 50 lakhs. And lump sum amount is available only in case of statutory order and the amount due against the statutory order is 10 lakhs or less. So these are the three schemes. Now let us see them. How to make the payment? The requisite amount will be calculated by us by applying those formulas which are given in the table, which we are going to learn in details. That requisite amount you have to pay in MTR 6. This is a challan, which is prescribed under Vat Act. This amount shall be made, payment shall be made on or before 30th September 2022. If you have made any payment before 31st March 2022, it will not be considered towards requisite amount. Again, if you have made any payment before 31st March 2022, it will not be considered for the purpose of amnesty as requisite amount. It will be adjusted under section 6 in the serial order which we have already seen. Under no circumstances, amnesty will be available or applicable or waiver will be possible in case of undisputed tax. So what it means? Undisputed tax, you have to pay 100%. So applicant is entitled for the waiver only in case of disputed tax, interest whether disputed or not, penalty whether disputed or not, late fee whether disputed or not. And what is the extent to which the waiver is available is given in Annexure A or Annexure B. Now we are going to see what to do. If you make the payment of the requisite amount, you calculate the requisite amount, it let us say comes to 5 lakhs. But before 30th September, you make the payment which is less than 5 lakhs. What will happen? Then in that case, your application will not be rejected because you have paid the amount less. But you will be given the proportionate benefit under the scheme. So your application will be accepted, but the benefit which will be available to you will be given to you proportionately if you pay the amount less than the total requisite amount. Now, again over here, whatever amount you have paid is less than the requisite amount. Let us say 5 lakhs is our requisite amount. Then it will be first adjusted towards undisputed tax. Again, the same serial order. Then disputed tax, interest and penalty, late fee will be taken proportionately. We'll be seeing it with the help of example, how it will be adjusted. So that is the, now before I go to the scheme, always remember if you make even 10% less payment, the benefit which will be not available to you will be more. Don't calculate it percentage wise. How we are going to see it. So take loan if necessary, but see that whatever is the requisite amount calculated as per tables which we are going to discuss now is paid fully. Now this is the table which is applicable for the period commencing on or after 1st April 2005, but ending before 30th June 17. Now, which is this period? April 1st was the date on which MVAT came into force. Before that, there was Bombay Sales Tax Act. So they have divided the period into two parts. Up to 31st March 2005 is one period, and second period is from 1st April 2005 to 30th June 2017. Now, again, what is one-time payment option and what is installment option, we already seen. So how much you have to pay? Undisputed tax in both the cases, you have to pay 100%. Disputed tax, you have to pay 50% in one-time payment, 50. 50% will be waived off. Installment option, you have to pay 56%. Now you might ask me, sir, 6% zyada kyun? You will be given 9 months period to make the payment. So if you want more time, definitely you will have to pay some amount more as by way of interest. So they are not saying interest, they are saying pay 6% more. So if you pay 6% more, the waiver amount will be less by 6%, it will become 44%. Now interest payable, you have to pay only 15%. 85% will be waived off in both the cases, whether it is one-time payment or whether it is installment payment. Penalty, you have to pay only 5%. 95% will be waived off in both the cases. Post-assessment interest, you have not to pay anything. And late fees payable, you have to pay only 5%, 95% will be waived off. So what is the difference in two schemes? You have to pay 6% more in respect of disputed tax. Because you can make the payment up to 9 months after the date of 30th September 2022. So how we are going to see the scheme fully. Now, next. For the period before 31st March 2005, that is, I will call it as sales tax, Bombay Sales Tax Act period. You have to pay 100% undisputed tax. Disputed tax over here, you have to pay only 30%, one-time payment. Installment payment, you have to make 34%. So they are taking 4% more. I'll call it as 2005 prior period. Interest payable, pay only 10%, 90%. So instead of 15, you have to pay only 10%. 90% will be waived off. Penalty, pay 5%, 95% will be waived off in both the cases. Post interest, 0% pay, 100% waived off. Now, I don't think there will be any pending cases of this period. So whatever discussions we are going to make after this will be for the period starting from 1st of April 2005 to 30th June 2006. Now, how to make the payment? one-time payment, you should make the payment between 1st April 22 to 30th September 22. So suppose you don't have full amount at one time, pay certain amount in April, May, June, till 30th September, you have to see that you have paid the full amount. After 30th September, whatever amount you pay will not be considered, except in the case of installment. The dealer is eligible to opt for this scheme only if statutory order are equal to or less than 10 lakhs. Statutory dues as per order are equal to or less than 10 lakhs. Now suppose my statutory order was 12 lakhs. I have paid, let us say 3 lakhs. Can I go for this scheme? Are the statutory dues as per order are less than 10 lakhs? Answer is no. Then in that case, you cannot go for this particular scheme. The dealer opting for this scheme has to pay 20% flat. So I am discussing with lump sum scheme, where the statutory dues are 10 lakhs or less than 10 lakhs. You have to pay 20% flat of the total dues. You are not to make it separate. 50% of disputed, then 15% of interest, all that you are not to do. Find out the total amount which is due from you. Calculate 20% and pay that 20%. Whole 80%. So you are not to pay 50% statutory, disputed tax. You have to pay only 20%. So when this scheme will be beneficial, that we are going to see separately. So the first 3 points which I discussed were in respect of lump sum payment. So lump sum payment, you have to pay 20% flat irrespective of disputed tax, interest, penalty, etc. 20% flat of the total statutory dues. 80% will be waived off. So that is lump sum payment scheme. Now let us see what is the installment payment scheme. Installment scheme is available only if the arrears of the amount exceeds 50 lakhs. So if it exceeds 50 lakhs, then only you can go for installment payment scheme. Otherwise, it is not permitted. The amount which you have to pay is 25% of the requisite amount. The requisite amount, remember, requisite amount over here is how much? 56%. So 25% of 56% plus 15 plus 5%, etc. will have to be paid by you before 30th September 2022. Whatever balance amount, requisite amount, how much will remain? 75%. So you have to pay balance 75% in 3 equal installments. So let us say total amount due from you is, let us say, 10 lakhs. You will pay 2,50,000 before 30th September 2022. 3 equal installments. So what is the balance remaining? Balance remaining is 7,50,000. 3 equal installments. Every installment will be of 2,50,000. So pay 2,50,000 when? First installment on or before December 31st. Second installment on or before 31st March 2023. And third installment on or before 30th June 2023. So that's how you have to make the payment of balance amount. So that is the installment payment. Now, in the making the payment of installments, if you make delay, what will happen? then you have to pay the interest at the rate of 12% on the delayed period. In case all the installments are not paid, then you must have paid 25% amount already. Or let us say you don't pay 2 installments, you have paid 50% amount, so you will be given proportionate benefit. So you actually, there are 4 25% installments. If you pay 3, 75% amount paid by you will be adjusted proportionately. If you pay 2, 50% amount will be adjusted proportionately. But in no case, the application for amnesty will be rejected for short payment. Now let us see both the schemes. Now this I am discussing lump sum payment, 20%. If you go for lump sum payment, now is it compulsory that you must go for lump sum payment if the statutory dues are less than 10 lakhs? Answer is no. It is not at all necessary. You can either go for this or you can go for 20%. So let us see. Undisputed tax, 2 lakhs. Now total amount, if you see, is how much? 6 lakhs. Now let us see how you are going to make the payment. Because undisputed tax you paid separately. You have to make the payment of 100%. So I think there is a mistake over here. Disputed tax, I'll say 4 lakhs. Interest 3 lakhs and penalty 1 lakh. So total amount due from you is 8 lakhs. If you go for 20%, you will make the payment of 1,60,000. So what will be the waiver? It will be 6,40,000. Now, in case of, I'll make the changes. No, I'll just discuss it with you. Now 4 lakhs, you will pay 2 lakhs, 50%. Interest 3 lakhs, you will pay 45,000, 15%. And penalty 1 lakh, you will pay 5%, 5,000. So, in case of 8 lakhs amount and you go for the regular scheme, the amount payable by you will be disputed tax. Out of 4 lakhs, you will pay 2 lakhs. Interest will pay 45,000 and 5,000 you will pay the amount of yes. So 3,50,000 you will have to pay if the undisputed tax is there. In case of one-time payment scheme of 20%, how much you will pay? You will pay 4,50,000, you will pay 20%. So if you pay 20%, so over here there is a mistake. That is, this part is a mistake. So 4,50,000, 20%, you will pay how much? 90,000. And remaining amount will be waived by for you. So I'll just make the corrections. And then
Sir,
we discuss it
I
again.
think it is 1,60,000 is on 8 lakhs. The total area of 8 lakhs.
Yes.
On
That's
that 20% is 1,60,000 and 6,40,000 is the waive off.
No, but what mistake I have made over here is, in case of undisputed tax, you have to pay 100%. I'll just go back and make the correction so that it will become clear.
But sir, in this 20% scheme, the entire order amount we have to pay, right? 20% on entire order amount, no?
Entire amount. So 1,60,000 you will pay,
Right.
and 6,40,000 will be the.
Waiver.
So there is no
80%.
question of disputed and undisputed,
Yeah, in that one, but 20% scheme, right?
right?
Yeah.
So you will pay how much? You will pay 1,60,000 and you will be waived off 6,40,000.
6,40,000. Yes, sir.
Over here, you are paying 3,50,000 and you are getting 4,50,000.
Yeah. So the
Okay.
20% is beneficial.
20% is beneficial. So when 20% will not be beneficial?
Okay.
Let us see. Over here, there is no undisputed tax, no disputed tax. You have to pay 2 lakhs interest and 50,000 penalty. What will happen now? 15% comes to 30,000. 5% comes to 2,500. So out of 2,50,000, you will pay 32,500. What will be the waiver amount? Waiver amount will be 2,17,500. If you pay 20% of 2,50,000, it will become 50,000. And waiver will be 2 lakhs. Over here, you will find out that you are at a loss. So, what will happen in this case? Whenever interest and penalty is payable, only there is no question of undisputed and disputed tax, then what you should do? You should go for the regular scheme. Don't go for 20% scheme, because over here you have to pay 15% and 5% only. And over there you have to pay 20%.
Sir, can you go one slide back, sir?
This
Before
one?
this, before this. Yeah, as you said that 8 lakh rupees also covers undisputed tax of 2 lakh rupees.
Yes.
So
Because whatever is the amount due as per statutory order, pay 20%.
yeah, but that you have said that undisputed tax you have to pay full, or that also you have to pay 20%.
Yes. In
Means,
one installment scheme, that is the option.
okay. In lump sum scheme, lump sum scheme.
Lump sum scheme, not installment, lump sum scheme.
Okay.
So in lump sum is 20% of entire order, entire order.
But entire order,
20% payment karo.
but entire order includes undisputed tax also.
Everything.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Requisite amount in respect of applicant who is liable to pay entry tax. So let us take this afterwards. Entry tax. So anything which you would like to discuss? If anybody wants some break for 10 minutes, we'll 5 minutes we'll wait. Those who want to discuss anything can continue. So anything which you would like to discuss up to calculation of requisite amount. Vijay, are there any questions?
Yeah, sir, there are a few questions. So,
questions.
if you want, then I can take up those.
Go.
Vijay, okay. Vijay, you are taking it?
Nilesh, you want to take? No issues.
Yeah. Okay. I will take it.
Okay.
So first the question is that under lump sum scheme, 80% waiver also available on undisputed tax. So that is
Yes.
true, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Can you just, sir, just brief, what do you mean by undisputed? Matlab, appeal is there or appeal is not there?
For disputed and undisputed, they have defined it.
Yeah.
It is not necessary that you have to go in appeal.
Okay.
And what is disputed and what is undisputed, we have discussed it in details.
But the C form, we are not submitting the C forms. The absenteeism of C forms will be treated as disputed or it is undisputed?
2% will be undisputed.
Okay.
10% will be disputed.
Okay. Now the second question is, there is refund under VAT and VAT liability under
That we are
CST.
coming separately. There is a
Okay.
separate provision for that.
Okay. In appeal, assessment order is confirmed by Joint Commissioner Appeals. In such case, whether the dues are covered under scheme, if yes, then under lump sum category or installment.
Statutory dues up to 10 lakhs lump sum, you can go. Statutory due. So appellate order is also statutory order.
Okay.
So you can go for appellate order if the amount due is less than 10 lakhs, you can go for the amnesty 20%.
Okay, sir. After that, the question is, if we can't go for amnesty in one issue and one issue we are going for appeal, then why they say it is said that to pay 100% of undisputed and 30% of disputed?
In this particular scheme, you have to withdraw the appeal in 100%.
Okay.
So you cannot say, "ये point में मैं appeal चालू रखूंगा." That was possible in previous cases. Now in this amnesty, they have said you have to withdraw 100%. So if you withdraw 100%, you have to calculate what is disputed and what is undisputed. Not according to appeal, according to the definition which they have given.
So 100% should be jagda khatam.
Ah.
You cannot go for 50%.
No.
Then the Dharmesh Shah, our member, has asked, the dues are pertaining to 2007, 2008 and are still unpaid and no appeal has been filed yet. Can we file an appeal now?
What is the necessity?
Or he can go straight
Why
away
you
for
want to go for appeal?
maybe for reducing the dues?
So if you can unmute him, he will ask his question.
Okay, fine. I will keep this question. We'll ask in the end. The second question is, if the principal amount outstanding as per returns is less than 10 lakhs in the assessment order, and in the assessment order it was 17 lakhs with interest, is it eligible?
Total assessment dues more than 10 lakhs, you cannot go for 20% scheme.
After the order?
Yes, after the order, statutory dues 10 lakhs or less only are eligible for 20%.
So that order can be either assessment order or appeal order or anything, right?
Anything. It should be an order.
Fine.
It should not be as per returns.
So on 29th of September, if we passed an appeal order, then it will be considered that amount, right? And you have to pay that in one day before 30th September.
So you be ready with the amount.
Okay. Then the question is, Chalan is paid in 2019. However, STO disallowed as it was not reflected in system and added interest also on that and asked to go in appeal. So can we adjust this while paying amnesty?
Now see, when you have paid the amount and if you take the bank certificate that this amount is paid by so and so Chalan, then that amount will be treated as paid only.
Okay.
There is no question of unpaid. So whatever interest he has calculated will be waived off in appeal.
And after that, the figure which comes, uska 20%.
Uska 20%. यानी statutory order वो interest पकड़ के 10 लाख के नीचे है तो तुम जो payment उसने allow नहीं किया, अभी समझो एक ऐसा पकड़ के चलो कि 1 लाख रुपए आपने payment किया था और वो उसने पकड़ा नहीं है.
Correct.
तो 20% वो आपका 1 लाख का भी चला जाएगा, 1 लाख पूरा ही चला जाएगा.
Right.
So first try to see that you get the credit of that 1 lakh.
मतलब उसके लिए पहले order लेना पड़ेगा ना, उसका revised order.
हाँ, so rectification के लिए apply करो या appeal में जाके see that you get that particular 1 lakh amount deducted. So if you get 1 lakh amount deducted, the interest will be automatically calculated less.
लेकिन अगर अपील का टाइम चला गया है तो
कभी का ये केस है,
ये 2019 का केस
19 का केस है तो पैंडेमिक का पकड़ के अलाउड है अभी.
Okay. So if that before this credit of this chalan, the amount was for say example 12 lakhs और ये chalan का effect देने के बाद it becomes 9 lakh rupees, then वो order लेने के बाद then he can go for amnesty.
Yes, he can go for 20%.
Okay, thank you. Then member has asked, I have paid PTRC for the financial year 21-22 in March 22, but not yet filed my returns. This is the first year of my registration, and am I supposed to file monthly returns? I think this is not related to our amnesty. Can I avail amnesty for late filing of returns?
See, basically, regarding professional tax, if you're in case of enrollment, there is no necessity of filing any returns. So there are no return dues, there are no assessment dues, there are no audit dues. So in case of enrollment, that is out of question. Now let us go to the registration. Now in registration, either you are deducted the tax or you are not deducted the tax. If you are deducted the tax and not paid, it is undisputed tax. You have to pay it 100%. If you are not deducted and not filed the return, can you file it now?
Yeah, with late fees, we can definitely file.
No. Now, if you file the return now, will it go for amnesty? The period up to which you have to file the returns is 31st March 2022.
Okay.
If you file it now, that return will not be considered for the amnesty.
Okay. So basically he wants to add, if March 22 का return उसको March 22 में भरना था, उसने अगर नहीं भरा है और उसका कोई भी penalty है या late fee है, whether he can go for amnesty?
No,
I think it won't be covered by any of the type of the dues which are explained.
Types. Is it covered under statutory dues? No. Is it covered under return dues? No.
No.
Is it covered under audit dues? No.
No.
So can't go.
Then I think the same question, but just to brief it, amount calculated will be as per order and not as per SSC, right? It will be as per order.
It should be either as per order or as per return file.
Okay. Well, return file means as per SSC, right?
Yes.
Met assessment order for the period 2017 to June 2000, April 17 to June 17, determined the demand of rupees 6,12,000. Breakup of this is VAT payable 3 lakh, being ineligible ITC 93,000 and eligible ITC claimed but not availed in the GST regime of 2,05,000, and interest is 3,07,000. What will be the amount eligible for amnesty?
It is below 10 lakhs.
Yeah, below 10 lakhs.
For that particular period, that is April to June.
Yeah, it is April 17 to June 17.
So he can go for 20%.
Okay. So 20% of 6,12,000?
Yes.
Because that includes ineligible ITC of 93,000. That is also considered in that only?
That is disputed amount, no?
Okay.
J1, J2 mismatch is disputed amount.
Then one time or lump sum option for rupees 10 lakhs for, is it year wise or SSC wise?
Year wise, assessee wise.
Yeah.
So if there is a dues for 12 lakhs for let us say 12-13, he can't go.
Okay.
But for 13-14, it is let us say 8 lakhs, he can go.
Okay. Okay, fine. So it is not SSC wise, it is year wise.
Year wise for assessee.
Lump sum payment scheme, order dues rupees 10 lakhs, paid in appeal say 1 lakh, then 20% of order is 2 lakhs. I have already paid 1 lakh in appeal. Do need to pay only 1 lakh now under amnesty?
Yes.
Means the, the 20% margin amount what has been paid will be adjusted in that amnesty amount, right?
Yes.
Okay.
No, that will be adjusted against the undisputed amount and 9 lakhs will be available.
See, for example, I have to pay 9 lakhs. Already 1 lakh was paid in while going in appeal.
See, 10 lakhs was the assessment dues.
Okay.
He has paid 1 lakh.
Okay.
So now amount due is 9 lakhs.
Okay.
So total amount due 10 lakhs, now due 9 lakhs, 20% of 9 lakhs.
What he is telling that my order says 10 lakhs to be paid, but already 20% margin if he has already paid by going in appeal.
So it will be whatever payments you have made up to 31st March will be adjusted according to section 6 only. To find out the eligible amount.
Can you give a brief small example for this?
Suppose there was a assessment done, let us say in December 2021.
Okay.
The amount due was 10 lakhs. He paid 1 lakh and filed the appeal.
Okay, fine.
Right. So he has paid the amount of 1 lakh before 31st March 2022.
Correct.
So that will be applicable or calculated according to section 6. So it will be adjusted again undisputed tax first, then disputed tax, and the total eligible amount will be found out. And eligible amount ka 20%.
Say the whole 10 lakhs was disputed, then
So serial order will, the second serial order is disputed tax. So 1 lakh will be adjusted against disputed tax.
so then remains 9 lakhs or uska 20%.
उसका 20%.
So you want to say that if my demand was
ऐसा नहीं है कि 10 लाख का मैं 20% निकालूं, 2 लाख आ गया उसमें से 1 लाख एडजस्ट करूं और 1 लाख भरूं,
अच्छा ऐसा नहीं है.
ऐसा नहीं है.
तो you want to say अगर 10 लाख का disputed liability में मैंने 9
पेमेंट आपने 31 मार्च के पहले किया है, that will be adjusted according to section 6 only,
okay.
and then you will be finding out the eligible amount.
Okay.
Eligible amount का 20% is requisite amount.
So you want to say mathematically जो हमने margin या जो भरा है वो तो पूरा ही गया.
वो पूरा गया, दोनों में वो जाता ही है.
अच्छा. So basically the scheme is not 20%. Appeal में they were asking 20% or 10%. So that has been already gone.
That is gone.
Okay. So if your disputed liability is 10 lakhs and I have paid 8 lakh rupees, तो मुझे 2 लाख का ही 20% मिलेगा.
Yes.
Okay.
तो 1,60,000 हो गया.
Okay, fine. Then
लेकिन अभी एक समझो, मैं वही बोल रहा था कि अपील में if you have paid full undisputed tax, okay, and interest and penalty is pending,
okay.
then it will be preferable if you go for regular scheme.
Okay. But for example, my liability was 10 lakhs, I have paid 11 lakhs. And then that interest liability जो है उसके सामने वो extra 1 लाख रुपए adjust होगा.
अगर आपने कौन से स्कीम के नीचे जा रहे हो वो इम्पोर्टेंट है.
नहीं, less than 10 lakhs है. For example, my liability was 5 lakh, interest is 3 lakh rupees, penalty is 1 lakh. Say it is 9 lakh rupees. And I have already paid 6 lakh rupees.
You have paid
6 lakh rupees.
and 4 lakhs is interest and penalty.
Correct.
Correct. That
Correct.
6 lakhs will not be adjusted. अभी अगर आपने ऐसा बोला अभी तो आपका टोटल ड्यूज था 10 लाख.
नहीं, 9 लाख था.
9 लाख था, उसमें से 6 लाख रुपीस आपने भर दिया है.
बराबर है.
ठीक है, तो अभी वो have you made the payment before 31st March?
Yes, sir.
It will be adjusted against disputed tax, undisputed tax in that serial order. First disputed, undisputed, then disputed tax, then interest. Whatever balance remains, उसका 20%.
So you want to say कि अगर मैंने 6 लाख भरा है तो 5 लाख पहला disputed liability के सामने एडजस्ट हो जाएगा.
Yes.
फिर वो 3 लाख के सामने वो 1 लाख एडजस्ट हो जाएगा.
हाँ.
और फिर 2 लाख और 1 लाख रह गया, वो 3 लाख का मुझे परसेंटेज वाइज भरना है, whatever is preferable.
According to me, in that case, if you have paid undisputed tax fully and only interest penalty remains, then regular scheme will be beneficial.
नहीं, यहाँ पे मैंने 1 लाख रुपया एक्स्ट्रा भरा है जो इंटरेस्ट और पेनल्टी के सामने भी एडजस्ट हो जाएगा ना.
लेकिन वो 31st मार्च के पहले भर दिया.
हाँ, पहले ही भर दी.
तो वो इंटरेस्ट के अगेंस्ट एडजस्ट हो गया.
ओके. सो पहले इंटरेस्ट के सामने एडजस्ट होगा.
हाँ.
सो द हायरार्की इज डिस्प्यूटेड, अनडिस्प्यूटेड, इंटरेस्ट एंड देन पेनल्टी.
4 लाख रुपए अमाउंट ड्यू था टुवर्ड्स टैक्स. 4 लाख रुपया इसके इंटरेस्ट के तरफ था और 1 लाख रुपया पेनल्टी के तरफ था. Let us say you have paid 6 lakhs. How it will be adjusted? 4 लाख पहला टैक्स चला जाएगा. 2 lakhs इंटरेस्ट चला जाएगा.
ओके.
So how much remains? 2 lakhs interest, 1 lakh rupees.
Okay.
Penalty. Okay. So 3 lakh का 20%.
ओके. 3 लाख का 20%, अदरवाइज 2 लाख का 15 और 1 लाख का 5%.
तो in that case, regular will be beneficial.
Correct. Then the question is, even undisputed tax is eligible for 80% waiver under lump sum? Yes, correct.
Yes.
Okay. Then in case of 20% payment scheme, what if some part of dues are as per assessment order were already paid before a year? We have already answered this. Yeah.
Yes.
Then during the course of appeal hearing, some Form C are submitted. Then my tax liability will be reduced and liability and the balance liability will be considered based on the that will be considered or the original assessment order will be considered.
Come back again.
If I have submitted some C forms while in the course of appeal,
Hmm.
say my demand was 10 lakh rupees, I filed an appeal, I submitted the C forms, balance some C forms, and my liability reduced to 5 lakh rupees.
Hmm.
Then I can go for a amnesty for this 5 lakh rupees, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Final order.
Final order of the appeal.
Yes. Till 30th September.
Okay.
So
Just
suppose you
sorry.
get benefit from April to September. Take it.
Okay, so you want to say if my appeal order is not there, not has been passed yet, I should not go for amnesty because then I will have to go for the 10 lakh rupees ka 20%.
हाँ.
अच्छा,
So
better है
you pursue that particular appellate officer to pass the order
Okay,
and go for that particular order.
okay. What is the scheme for dues more than that I think you already mentioned. What is the scheme for dues more than 10 lakhs and less than 50 lakhs?
That is regular scheme, one-time payment scheme.
Part payment made for appeal shall be considered before calculating 20% of the lump sum amount. No, that also we have discussed.
Whatever amount you have paid before 31st March 2022 will be adjusted according to section 6.
Okay, okay. Whether any amnesty available for those who are having dispute amount exceeding 10 lakhs in a year?
Regular scheme, one time.
10 lakh limit is overall liability for all years or only
Now
for
remember another thing, 10 lakhs is only statutory dues.
Okay.
It is not applicable to the audit dues, it is not applicable to the return dues.
Statutory dues means including interest penalty.
Yes.
Okay. And this question is 10 lakhs limit is overall liability for all years. No, that you have mentioned. It is for each and every year. Year wise.
Year wise.
Fine. If my VAT order is of rupees 5 lakh and CST order is of rupees 3 lakh, can I opt for VAT
CST
order?
is separate, VAT is separate.
Okay. So you can, for one, you can go for appeal order and one you can go for amnesty, right?
Yes.
So Nilesh, just one clarification. Right now you mentioned that 10 lakh is that limit is qua year or it's qua order?
See, it is qua year, qua relevant act.
Relevant act. Okay, sir. Thank you.
So you want to say for 5 years, for example.
So suppose there is a CST dues of 8 lakhs and VAT dues of 6 lakhs.
So I can go for both.
For the same year, you can go for both.
Both under lump sum.
Okay.
Right, sir.
So you want to say for 5 years, if I have filed appeal for CST and appeal for VAT, it will be considered 10 different orders.
Yes.
And if all these 10 orders are less than 10 lakhs, I can go for amnesty for all 10 orders.
Yes.
And if out of this 7 are less than 10 lakhs, 3 are more than 10 lakhs, then also for 7 I can go for that.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So it is year wise, act wise.
Year wise, act wise.
Okay, fine. In that case, 20%. Okay, fine. What is the breakup, right, Sharan? I will take it this afterwards. Unregistered dealer has not deducted PTRC or employee salary till date.
Already I answered.
Okay, fine.
If you have not filed the returns, there is no question of amnesty.
Okay. Lump sum deposit required. Lump sum deposit, when we make the payment, whether it require any breakup or straight away you have to pay on basic.
Lump sum you have to pay total amount, 20%.
In that chalan, there are normally fields, basic, penalty, interest. You have to straight away pay on basic.
I'll be showing you if time permits.
Okay.
For the lump sum payment, they are not, because MTR 6 takes only the amount.
So that is the self-generated chalan when we.
MTR 6 is to be prepared by you.
for one financial year. Achha, that already we have discussed.
Yes.
VAT dues are 950, assessment CST dues are 950. He can go for both, right?
Yes.
I have received CST order for non-productive of C forms, total demand 8 lakhs, 4 lakh tax, 4 lakh interest. I have paid 4 lakhs and filed appeal. I think we have discussed.
Yes.
Now I have to go for lump sum scheme, which is adjusted, which I have paid no. For example,
I'll do one thing. I'll show you site where you can go and make the calculations very easily.
Okay.
So that this question will not arise. I'll come back to this slide. Slide is 24. So I'll just show you. The meraconsultant.com. is the site. Here they are giving Maharashtra Settlement of Arrears Scheme 2022. Even if you are not registered on that site, you can calculate. Period of arrears. You can see the screen, no?
Yes, sir.
Period between 1/4/2005 to, so let us continue with this period. Now, if you go to the type of arrears, statutory order, return dues, dues as per VAT audit report. So 3 kinds of dues. Okay. So go for statutory order. Arrears amount range 10,000 or less. Continue with this and say next. What will happen? He tells you that such arrears are completely written off and post-assessment range or such is not payable. Okay. So if the amount of statutory dues is less than 10,000, it will be waived off. Don't bother about it. Now let us see if the arrears in the range of 10,000 but up to 10 lakhs. Period. 17. Now you just go on typing. Undisputed tax, how much you said just now? 3 lakhs?
Yes.
Undisputed tax, disputed tax, let us say 2 lakhs. No, I'll have to go back because we have to. So let us say disputed tax 1 lakh. Okay. Interest 3 lakhs. Post assessment interest 0. Penalty
1 lakh.
let us say 1 lakh.
So total 8 lakhs.
So total 8 lakhs. It is below 10 lakhs. Okay.
Yeah.
Now see how it is calculated. If you go for regular scheme, you have to pay 4 lakhs.
Okay.
3 lakhs, 100%, 3 lakhs. 1 lakh, 50%, 5 lakhs. Interest 3 lakhs, 15%, 45,000. Penalty 1 lakh, 5%, 5,000. So requisite amount payable will be 4 lakhs according to our one-time payment. If it is lump sum, 20% of 8 lakhs. So you will have to pay 1,60,000. Clear? You want to calculate any other amounts, you tell me.
Sir, in the back side, there are 3 options. Can you go back?
और एक पीछे जाओ.
और एक पीछे जाइए.
This is statutory order. If I go for return dues.
Sorry. VAT audit, it was there, no? Return dues. Return dues means you have not filed appeal. कुछ भी नहीं है. खाली आपको notice आया है कि इतना पैसा भरना है.
Return ही भरा है सिर्फ.
Payable return.
And उसमें tax नहीं भरा है आपने. Then it becomes return dues.
Okay. तो उसमें भी 20% है.
अगर रिटर्न ड्यूज का देखने का है तो देखो ना, इफ यू आर एडमिटेड रिटर्न ड्यूज यानी यू आर एडमिटेड टैक्स.
ओके.
नाउ लेट अस टेक अमाउंट मोर देन 10 lakhs, 50 lakhs. Okay. So let us say here I am saying 30 lakhs. I have to pay.
So रिटर्न ड्यूज में undisputed क्या रहेगा? कुछ भी नहीं रहेगा ना.
नहीं, लेकिन उसमें इंटरेस्ट और इसके लिए फायदा होता है. इधर 0, ठीक है. इंटरेस्ट समझो अभी मेरे को I have not paid that 30 lakhs. Let us say I have to pay 6 lakhs rupees interest. Okay. And penalty of late filing, let us say I have to pay 1 lakh. Okay. Now let us see how much it will be calculating. Now he is not giving you installment scheme. He tells you that you have to pay 30 lakh 95,000.
Okay. But if it was less than 10 lakhs, तो भी यही रहेगा ना कि then lump sum is allowed.
उधर लमसम रिटर्न्स के ऊपर लमसम अलाउड ही नहीं है. समझो अगर ये 3 लाख की बात कर दिया मैंने.
So first option छोड़ के order छोड़ के बाकी कुछ भी रहेगा, VAT dues or return dues, no lump sum is allowed.
No lump sum is allowed. Only statutory order, amount less than 10 lakhs, 20% is allowed.
Okay, fine. Sir.
Now everything is clear.
Yeah, absolutely, sir.
Yes, sir.
So shall we go back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today we have one more speaker, meraconsultant.com.
That is Sudhir Dandekar. It is his site. And there is no necessity of any login. Okay.
Okay. Now I think most of the questions will be removed. My liability is 15 lakh per order. I have paid 6 lakh. Balance is 9 lakh. Can I go for lump sum scheme? No. Correct? Or a yes?
वापिस पूछो.
My liability is 15 lakh as per order. So I have paid 6 lakh balance and 9 lakh is to be paid, but he cannot go for lump sum, right?
No, because statutory dues are more than 15, more than 10.
Correct. If my VAT order is 5 lakh, CST is 3
It is
lakh.
not a question of, now I'll make it very clear. It is not a question of amount unpaid. It is question of statutory dues less than 10 lakhs.
Correct. If profession tax of 2,500 for business profession is not paid for last 5 years, can I go for amnesty scheme to avail benefits of interest? I think no, because
No.
these are regular dues.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Government is also have played smart.
No, suppose in case of registration under professional tax, you have filed the returns and not paid the interest.
This is PTEC, not PTRC.
इसी का सवाल ही नहीं है ना. इसी का रजिस्ट्रेशन एनरोलमेंट तुमने किया ही नहीं है.
बराबर.
अभी करते हो तो जो पीरियड का टैक्स आपको भरना है वो दैट विल बी आफ्टर 17.
Okay.
So there is no question of amnesty.
Okay. Profession tax returns of employees not filed since last 5 years. Can taxpayer take registration now and take
रिटर्न नहीं भरा तो कौन से केस के नीचे जाओगे मेरे को बोलो.
बराबर. Okay, sir. You can continue. Then we have 2-3 questions, but we will take in end after your slide is over.
Okay. So entry tax, I'll just explain what it is. Entry tax was payable whenever you brought certain material into Maharashtra. You were eligible for 100% set off in your VAT. But if the set off was not permitted according to Rule 53 and 54. One was for reduction of set off and second was for not availability of set off. Okay. So if the amount is reduced as per Rule 53 or it is not available as per Rule 654, then you have to calculate the amount which we are going to see how. Okay, so I have taken an example. A dealer imported steel bars, angles, joints, etc. of 10 lakhs during the year 11-12, and the assessment order is passed, leaving tax along with the interest and penalty as below. Entry tax 5% on 10 lakhs 50,000, interest levied 25,000, penalty levied 50,000. Now remember one thing. 25,000 and 50,000, you have to pay 15% and 5%. So let us think only of 50,000. That is the entry tax. Is it clear? Now let us go next. If the dealer has used these imported goods for construction of immovable property, now whenever you construct an immovable property according to VAT, set off was not available under rule 54. So now let us see how we are going to calculate the amount which is payable. So entry tax was 50,000, set off denied 50,000. So what will be the requisite amount? 50,000. Now let us take a case where there was a reduction in set off. Now reduction in set off, $50,000 was the entry tax, reduction was, let us say, 3% of 10 lakhs. Then what will happen? Set off reduced 30,000. So how much will be the amount payable? 30,000. Lower of about 2 will be the amount payable. Now I am taking third case. Suppose those goods you have used in construction of machinery. Now in this case, what will happen? Entry tax payable 50,000. Is set off reduced? No, because it is fully available. Then in that case, requisite amount is nil. Now in this case or this case, 25,000 and 50,000, you can go for amnesty 15% and 5%. So out of 50,000, how much you have to pay? That is the question. In this case, you have to pay 50,000 undisputed tax. In this case, you have to pay 30,000 undisputed tax. In this case, you are not to pay any tax because set off was fully allowed. So basically, remember one thing, even if the tax is not payable, you can go for amnesty for penalty and interest definitely. With respect to the interest levied as per statutory order will be considered for determining requisite amount and waiver amount in accordance with Annexure A and B depending upon the period. Similarly, with the respect of penalty levied as per statutory order, so it is clearly stated that interest and penalty, irrespective of the tax amount, you are entitled for amnesty 15% and 5% payment. Where the payment is made by the applicant less, that is, instead of paying the full amount, he has paid the amount less. How the amount of waiver will be calculated? Remember, regarding undisputed tax, there is no waiver available. So whatever amount you have paid will be adjusted against undisputed tax first. Whatever amount remains will be adjusted against disputed tax, interest and penalty proportionately. And the benefit available will be calculated. How? We are going to see it with an example. Now understand this example clearly. Calculation in case of requisite amount is paid short. The applicant has arrears of 15 lakhs as on 31st March 2022 for the period 14-15. He intends to make payment under Act before 30th September 2022. He is required to pay requisite amount of 7 lakhs as applicable percentages according to Annexure A. However, he could pay only 5 lakhs. So he has paid 2 lakhs short till 30th September 2022 and submitted the application for waiver. Now let us see how it will be adjusted. So for that, to make your confusion less, what I have done, out of 5 lakhs, 2 lakhs is undisputed amount. Out of 5 lakhs, 2 lakhs is undisputed amount. So 2 lakhs will be adjusted towards undisputed amount. So how much remains? 3 lakhs. And what will be the amount which will remain? 5 lakhs. So total, again, I'll take you to the table so that it will become clear. Total dues were 13 lakhs. How those are 13 lakhs, I'll make it clear. 15 lakhs were total arrears. Clear? Now let us go to the table. Out of that, 2 lakhs was undisputed tax. So out of 5 lakhs, whatever you have paid, 2 lakhs will be adjusted towards undisputed tax. Out of 15 lakhs, 9 lakhs was disputed tax, interest was 3 lakhs, penalty was 1 lakh. After adjusting 2 lakhs, what is the requisite amount you have paid? You have paid 5 lakhs. So how much you have to pay out of these 9 lakhs? 50%, 4,50,000. Amount waived will be 4,50,000. Interest 3 lakhs. 15% you have to pay 45,000. Interest waived will be 2,55,000. Penalty 1 lakh. You have to pay 5%. Required amount 5,000. 95,000 will be waived off. So if you would have paid full 5 lakhs, you would have got 8 lakhs waiver. So anything which you have not understood up to this part, that is requisite amount payable. Now, let us go back to the example. You paid how much? Requisite amount payable was how much? These 5 lakhs plus 2 lakhs undisputed tax. How much you paid? You paid total 5 lakhs. So out of these 5 lakhs, how much will be adjusted? Out of these 5 lakhs, 3 lakhs will be adjusted towards requisite amount. So any difficulty about calculation of 3 lakhs? Now these 3 lakhs will be adjusted against 5 lakhs requisite amount. These 3 lakhs paid by you will be adjusted against 5 lakhs requisite amount. How much percentage it is? 60%. 60% of 5 lakhs. So 60% of 5 lakhs will be adjusted against 4,50,000. 60% of 4,50,000, 2,70,000. 60% of 45,000, 27,000. 60% of 5,000, 3,000. So this is proportionately adjusting 3 lakhs paid by you. So what is the amount short paid by you? 1,80,000. Because out of 4,50,000, you have paid 2,70,000. Short paid 1,80,000. Out of 45,000, you have paid 27,000. You are short paid 18,000. Out of 5,000, you have paid 3,000. Short paid 2,000. So any difficulty about calculating the requisite amount and short payment? So short payment is 2 lakhs. Now, how much waiver will be not granted to you? Now, whatever short payment you have made, here you have made payment, short payment of how much? 1,80,000. Divided by 0.5. That is 50%. So divided by 0.5, how much you will get? Waiver amount not granted will be 3,60,000. You have paid 18,000 interest short. Divided by 0.15, you will get 1,20,000. This much will not be granted to you. You have not paid 2,000 rupees penalty. Divided by 0.05, you will get 40,000. So what will be the waiver not granted to you? 5,20,000. So total amount which will be payable by you will be how much? 5,20,000 additional, because you have not paid 2 lakhs.
So in nutshell, in summary, my demand was 13 lakhs, but because I paid 2 lakhs.
Now, again, I am telling you, I'll go back to the example so that it will become clear. Now, you have seen the calculation. I'll read the example again. Applicant has arrears of 15 lakhs. Okay. Out of that, 2 lakhs was undisputed amount. So what are the bifurcation of 15 lakhs? 2 lakhs undisputed amount, 9 lakhs disputed amount, interest 3 lakhs, and penalty 1 lakh. Clear? So that was how 15 lakhs was due. I paid 5 lakhs only. Now when I have paid 5 lakhs, 2 lakhs will be adjusted towards undisputed amount first. So how much remains? Amount remaining 3 lakhs. And how much amount is requisite amount? 5 lakhs. So against 5 lakhs, I have paid 3 lakhs. So these 3 lakhs I have not paid fully. It will be adjusted in the ratio of 4,50,000, 45,000, 5,000. So it will be adjusted 2,70,000, 27,000, 3,000. So from this requisite amount, the amount adjusted will be deducted to find out requisite amount short paid. So 1,80,000 I have short paid disputed tax. I have short paid interest of 18,000. I have short paid penalty of 2,000. Now how much waiver will not be granted to me? Actually, what was the waiver available to me? 4,50,000. Out of that, I'll be disallowed 3,60,000 because I have paid 1,80,000 less. Out of 2,55,000, I'll be disallowed 1,20,000 because I have paid 18,000 less. And out of 95,000 waiver, I'll be allowed only 40,000. Disallowed 40,000. So what? Why? Because I have paid only 2,000 less. So by paying 2 lakhs rupees less, I am losing waiver of 5,20,000. Nilesh, is it clear now?
Moral of the story, if I would have paid 7 lakhs, my 15 lakhs का demand चला जाता था.
पूरा का पूरा चला जाता.
पूरा अगर मैंने 5 लाख रुपया भरा तो मेरा 7,80,000 का डिमांड ही गया और 5,20,000 का रह गया. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
For any interest liability on that delayed payment?
No, then regular assessment में regular act के मुताबिक जो कुछ होगा वो चालू रहेगा.
अच्छा वो
So on
5
that
लाख
5,20,000, there will be continuation of assessment.
Yeah.
Yes, that will continue according to the normal act.
मतलब 5-20 पे मीटर चालू है ना फिर.
हाँ.
अच्छा.
Okay.
Okay sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Now let us see the procedure to be followed. So this procedure, how to do it? The applicant shall make the application for the settlement of arrears between the period 1st April to 14th October. 14th October is the last date. Okay. Every application shall be accompanied by the proof of payment of full requisite amount in case of one-time payment option and minimum 25% of requisite amount in case of installment option. So that is, you have to attach the challan for payment.
But
Then
that should be before 30th September, no? That should be
Yes.
before 30th September.
But that amount is to be paid before 30th September.
Okay.
But you can file the application up to 14th October. Form 1 is to be filed if you are going for amnesty against a statutory order. Okay. And Form 1 is to be filed if you are going for amnesty against return dues or audit dues. So 1 for statutory order, 1A for return dues and audit report dues. When appeal is pending before the appellate authority or tribunal or high court or Supreme Court, what you have to do? If any appeal is pending, you have to apply for withdrawal of the appeal. You have to withdraw it fully and unconditionally. You cannot say that for point number 1, I am withdrawing. For point number 2, I am continuing. It is not possible. You have to withdraw it fully. Every application shall be accompanied by appeal withdrawal application, form number 2. This form number 2 is notified. And either you can attach acknowledgement for withdrawal of the application, withdrawal of the appeal. Sometimes, because they are instructed to issue the order of withdrawal acceptance within 7 days. So if you have received the order, then you have to attach the order which will be available with you. So if order is not available, attach application for withdrawal of appeal. If order is available, then attach the order. So that is if the appeal is pending. If any reference is filed by the GST department to the tribunal or high court, if or any reference is filed and you are going for amnesty, once you file the amnesty appeal application, that reference or the appeal made by the department will be withdrawn. Once the amount disputed by the same department is settled under this act, there shall be no refund or adjustment of the amount so paid. There shall be no recovery of the waiver already granted under this act. So that is the scheme if you department has gone up. Now there was a question regarding the VAT and CST. Now many a times those who have done the practice in VAT know that there can be a possibility that there is a refund due under VAT, which is adjusted against CST. Now suppose the VAT refund got reduced, because of which the CST demand is there, and you want to dispute. Now in that case, you will have to withdraw both the appeals. That is VAT appeal as well as CST appeal. So where excess set off or refund under value-added tax is adjusted against liability under CST or entry tax, and such adjustment or set off refund is reduced or denied in assessment under value-added tax, the order, in order to settle the dues of central tax or the tax on entry act, you have to withdraw both the appeals, that is from VAT as well as central tax or entry tax. So that is necessary. The applicant shall make an application for settlement of arrears in Form 1 or 1A electronically on MGSTD portal, that is Maharashtra government. A separate application for each class of arrears under relevant act separately for each financial year to be submitted. So relevant act and relevant year. So central tax, one application, VAT, second application for same year. Okay. For every year, every act, separate application is to be made. Payable as per statutory order and relevant act. Now, in case of returns or revised return, whatever amount you have submitted or whatever amount you have admitted in the return, how they will come to know? You have to attach the copy of the returns filed by you. If the amount is due as per audit order, you have to submit the copy of the audit report along with the application. Return or revised return, there are certain things which you have to remember. Where the applicant desires to settle the arrears of the return dues, he should submit a separate application for each of such return or revised return under each relevant act. So let us say there are 3 returns which I have not paid the amount. I can go for return wise or I can go for year wise. So if there are more than one return in a year, it will be calculated year wise. But there is, let us say, only one return for which I have not paid the tax. Then I should go return wise. However, where an applicant desires to settle the arrears of the return dues in respect of more than one return or revised return pertaining to a financial year, then he may submit a single application for a financial year. Separate application needs to be submitted for each class of arrears and for each period. So remember, separate application to be submitted for each arrears, that is every act separate, every financial year separate. What are the things which you have to attach? Proof of payment of the requisite amount, that is whatever you have paid up to 30th September. Copy of the statutory order. Original order of withdrawal of the appeal. If it is not available, acknowledgement. Copies of the challans for the payments made after 31st March 2022. In case payment of installment, communicate the payment of all installments with the challan copies. Form 7. Form 7 is also notified. Designated authority. Now what will be the procedure? So how to make the application is over here. So any questions which you would like to ask about application?
So one query from my side. See, appeal is filed online against the CST order, and as you have suggested that we should first file for the withdrawal of the appeal, which
Right.
again we have to file online.
Yes.
Then you have told that we have to give some details in Form 2. So
Yes.
what is that Form 2 is regarding?
Form 2, you have to intimate withdrawal of the appeal. That forms I will be taking up.
Okay, thank you.
So anything else which you would like to discuss about the application? Now let us go further. Once you file the application, the designated authority will verify the correctness. So whatever you have said in your application, whether it is right or wrong. Now this will be verified by them with the records available with them, as well as the attachments which you have made. Okay. After verification, if he finds out that your application is correct, he will proceed for granting you amnesty. But if he finds out that the application is incorrect or you have paid less amount, he will give you a notice of 15 days to rectify the defect. Once you rectify the defect, you will be given 15 days for correcting that particular defect. You have to correct it within those 15 days and submit the details again. But however, the payment, if any, you have to make it before 30th September. If you make it after 30th September, it will not be considered. After you make the corrections, if the designated authority is satisfied regarding the correctness, then he will calculate the requisite amount and extent of waiver. If the amount is paid by you fully, he will pass the order in form number 3, which is already notified. Provide a copy of the same to the applicant within 3 months. So he will pass the order and give you the copy within 3 months. Where the applicant fails to correct the defects communicated or to make up the amount which he had short paid, then the order will be passed by giving you proportionate benefit and proportionate waiver. So applicant shall be discharged of the liability to the extent of the amount of waiver specified in the order of the settlement. On rejection of such application, now it is quite possible that your application might be rejected. If the applicant has withdrawn the appeal to settle the settlement, apply for the settlement, then appeal will be reinstated. So suppose you have withdrawn the appeal and your application is rejected, what will happen? The appeal will be reinstated and the procedure against that particular relevant act will continue. Rectification. Now, whenever you find out that there is a mistake in the order passed by the officer, suo motu he can correct it, or you can make an application for correction and it will be corrected or rectified within 6 months, provided that the application for rectification shall be made within 60 days. So you have to apply for the rectification within 60 days. Suo motu officer cannot rectify the order if it is going to adversely affect you without giving you opportunity for hearing. Now, against the order of amnesty, can you go in appeal? Answer is yes, but it will be one time. You cannot go in second appeal. So one appeal is allowed. Now, to whom make the appeal? If the order is passed by the assistant commissioner, then deputy commissioner, joint commissioner, that hierarchy we know. The appeal shall be filed within 60 days from the date of the receipt of the order. The appellate authority, after making such further inquiry as may be necessary, pass such order as it thinks fit. That is appellate authority. Second appeal is not permitted. Review. Now, commissioner is given 12 months time to review the order which are passed under this particular scheme. But if he is going to take any decision which is going against you, then you will be given a chance for hearing. Bar on reopening of the settled cases. So once the amnesty is granted, order is passed, then it cannot be reopened under relevant act. Revocation of the order. Now, if you are given certain facts which are wrong, or you are given the information which is false, or you have suppressed the material information, or you have concealed certain information, then the order which is passed can be revoked. For this, he has to record the reason in writing after giving you opportunity of being heard within 2 years from the end of the financial year in which the order of settlement is passed and served upon you. If the order of settlement is revoked, what will happen? It will stand revived and reinstated immediately upon such revocation. And such assessment, reassessment, rectification, revision, review, appeal, etc. will be decided in accordance with the provision of the relevant law. So that is the revocation. No refund will be given to you under any circumstances. And commissioner has got power to make the rules, give the forms. He can come out with the circulars. He can come out with the notifications to mitigate your difficulties. So this is the power given to him to remove your difficulties. So that is the amnesty scheme. So this is a thing which we should remember, that making a mistake is a human being. Failure makes you stronger. Hope keeps you going. Love keeps you alive. And warning is missing. Now I'll just quickly go through the forms because already we are these are the forms which I will be describing. Form 1, application for settlement of arrears of tax, interest, penalty or late fee payable as per the statutory order. So form 1 is to be filed when you want to go in amnesty against us dues as per statutory order. Now this is PDF format. When you go on the site, it will come part by part that we are accustomed with now. So lump sum payment, one-time payment, installment option, you have to select which one you are going. Details of the arrears as per statutory order. Total amount paid. So this is the details of the amount paid. Amount of tax, interest, penalty or late fee outstanding. Order is passed after 1st April, but on or before 30th September. Then you have to fill up this. Details of the file, appeal filed and withdrawal if any. Details of the settlement of arrears. Attachments. What attachments you have to make, that is given over here. So here you can see they are given 3-4 challans. You can make the payment, go on making the payment as and when the amount is available. This is the declaration. This is the acknowledgement. Now this is 1A. 1A is to be filed when the dues are because of the returns or because of the auditor's recommendation. The contents are nearly same, so I'm not again describing what it is.
Sir, wherever there is online application or but everything has to be submitted physically also to the department?
No. This time we are not to file no physical copies. So one-time payment of acknowledgement, and this is installment option. Form 2, application for withdrawal of appeal. So Bijal was asking, so this is Form 2, application for withdrawal of appeal.
Okay. So we have to give this form first before giving Form 1.
Yes.
Okay.
Application for withdrawal you have to file. They will give you the acknowledgement,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
That acknowledgement you have to submit.
Along with Form 1.
Okay.
Okay.
Along with the application.
Okay.
Form number 3, that is the order, either accepting the settlement or rejecting the settlement. So how much waiver is given, all that will be mentioned in this order.
Sir, we can prepare that or officer will prepare?
This will be prepared by the officer.
Okay, sir.
You can help him if he requires.
Okay.
Now, notice for rectification, within 60 days you have to apply. So you have to apply for rectification in this form, Form 4. Then Form 5, application for rectification. Notice for review. Commissioner, if he wants to make the review, he will send you this notice. Furnishing of the details of payment under installment. So 3 installment you are given. So whenever you make the payment, you have to intimate it in form number 7. Form number 8, notice for revocation. So these are the forms which are already prescribed. So I think I have tried to do or discuss with you all the things which are possible. So if still there are any things which you would like to discuss, still there are 300 participants attending. So if
Yes, sir.
there are still any questions,
Yeah, I will take 1 or 2 questions.
Sure.
The dealer has paid full amount of tax related to pending CST forms and during the course of appeal or pending forms submitted. Then there is no benefit under the amnesty, obviously, correct?
no, for interest, because see, you must have paid the amount of C forms late. What about the
Official
interest?
Yeah, but he has said that all the C forms he has got it. He got all the C forms.
No, full amount of tax is already paid. No, so differential liability, tax liability is paid.
Then
But
if he has
interest,
got the C forms and they are accepted, he will be given refund.
Correct.
But then he has not to go for the amnesty.
Right, sir.
Okay.
Sir, payment to be made under which head, that you have already covered. What about the dues as per statutory order as well as audit order report dues, Form 1 and Form 1A?
Statutory order 1, return dues and audit dues 1A.
If the pending appeal is disposed of before 30th 9/22, then in that case we can
Take
go
the
for
advantage.
amnesty. Yes, we can go for it. So
But
basically, sir,
don't- See, whatever order you are going to get, you should get it on or before 29th.
okay. So
Because on
basically, what?
30th, you have to make the payment.
So basically, you said that there should be either you have to withdraw the appeal or you have to get the order for that appeal, correct?
Yes.
And your appeal any appeal or anything should be before 30th March 22.
Yes.
Okay. Form 704 was not filed for 17-18, say that is Q1. SSC has received show cause notice for levy of penalty, but no order passed, demand raised till date for penalty. Can SSC file 704 now and pay voluntary penalty of 5% under amnesty?
5%, see, is it according to return? No.
No, he has only received show cause notice. Otherwise,
Show cause
nothing has been
notice,
happened.
is statutory order passed? No.
No.
Only 3 kinds of dues. Okay.
So what he cannot go for this, right? In this
No.
case. Okay. With regard to interest and penalty, the waiver as per amnesty, it do not make any difference if the interest and penalty is on account of statutory order or audit dues or return dues, right?
Interest and penalty will be always beneficial because you have to pay only 15% and 5%.
Now I think there's a refund. Sir, as you said that sometimes CST demand is get set off against VAT refund. But for example, in CST, I have not gone for appeal. Sorry, in VAT, I have not gone for appeal. In CST, because of some C forms, I am already in appeal, but the total demand has already been adjusted against my VAT refund. In that case, what should be the case?
Then why you are going in amnesty?
No, because I got the C forms now, no? So I have to reduce my liability.
No, in that case, you have to go and apply for the rectification if it is within that particular time limit.
Right. No, so for example, say 100 rupees C form and not there, I got only 20 rupees C form. For that
Okay,
80
now
rupees.
you have got, let us say, further 80 rupees.
Okay.
Okay. Then you have to go and apply for the rectification if it is within that time permitted.
Okay. So for that 80% C form which I am not submitting, उसके लिए मैं amnesty में नहीं जा सकता हूँ.
जा सकते हो ना?
लेकिन वो जो VAT के सामने adjust हो गया वो पैसा गया कि वो रहेगा?
नहीं, इसके लिए बोला है वो अगर आपको फॉर्म्स मिल गए, apply for rectification of the order if those forms issued by you are within the time permitted of the order passed.
नहीं, but I am already in appeal now. वो order का expiry already हो चुका है.
Order का expiry हो गया है.
इसके लिए हम अपील में गए हैं.
तो अपील में you can see basically withdraw that. Exactly how it is done, I don't know. Means what is this query? I am not understanding. See, let us say the refund due was 10 lakhs.
Okay.
And the amount due because of non-availability of the C form is, let us say, 20 lakhs. Only 10 lakhs will be adjusted.
Correct.
So he has to go in appeal for both.
Both means
Okay.
for VAT also.
VAT also.
That time has already gone. Na? 31st March is already gone.
So at that time when he has received the order, he must have gone in appeal, no?
For CST he has gone. Na? He has not gone for VAT.
So whatever amount of C forms he has not received will become disputed tax, 10%.
See, say for example, in VAT there was a refund of 10 lakhs. In C forms of 10 lakh rupees liability were not submitted, so amount got adjusted. But I went for a appeal for CST. आउट ऑफ दैट 10 लाख रुपीज 5 लाख के सीफॉर्म आ गए मेरे पास, अभी 5 लाख के नहीं आए हैं। लेकिन अगर मैं एमनेस्टी, हाँ,
तो एमनेस्टी में जाके आपको रिफंड नहीं मिलने वाला,
नहीं मिलने वाला, जो वेट में एडजस्ट हो गया वो पैसा नहीं मिलेगा ना वापस?
वो अपील में ही करके ले लो।
अच्छा, ओके, फाइन, ठीक है,
एमनेस्टी में रिफंड नहीं मिलेगा।
ठीक है, ओके सर। अच्छा, members are asking, I think, whether we will get the material. Definitely, sir. For all the seminars, we always upload the total material, everything on our website. The members, those who are active members of Borivali Study Circle, means those who have renewed their membership, they can open by login and they can get all the materials, including this YouTube video also. The link for this whole video, everything you will get it. I think we will upload it within 2 to 3 days of the end of the seminar. So I think all the seminars we are doing the same thing. So not to worry about the material, that definitely we will share with all the attendees today. Not only all the attendees, in fact, all the members of the BCSE, whether they attended or not attended.
Whether registered or not.
Whether registered or not. But those who are registered only will be able to see the download section. Otherwise, others will not be able to do it.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Jawad, please carry on.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. I think everybody must be agree that DILIP sir has taken this session in a very enlightened manner, and we have been able to understand the whole crux of this amnesty scheme in a very detailed manner. That from the starting of the application, how to apply, how much benefit we should take, what kind of form we need to file, and how to go in appeal. All the process he has explained in a very detailed manner. So we thank you, sir, on behalf of BCSE. Now I request CA Bijal Doshi to propose the hearty vote of thanks to sir.
Sir, please stop the share screen.
Yes.
And one more request, sir, with the material, if you can also share all these forms, so we will also share with all our members.
Sure.
Okay. Yes, Bijal.
Thank you, Jawad. As we started this session, sir doesn't require any introduction. Similarly, throughout the section, we got so many queries and sir answered all the questions with the details and examples. And it really helped us understanding the entire act. The act might be of 20 pages, but sir explained us each and every line of the act. So sir, we really like to thank you for accepting our invitation and also solving all the queries of the members. Thank you so much. On behalf of BCSE, I request you all to join the hand, please. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, you said that you will be complete the lecture in 2 hours maximum. But I assured you that, sir, this is BCSE. आपको हम 3 घंटे के पहले जाने नहीं देंगे. And yes, we have completed 3 hours today.
If there are any queries, already I have given you my phone number or email address. You can send me the email. I'll be happy to answer it.
Sure, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Sir. Recording 1.